Yo team, what is good? Welcome back to week 3 and week 4 of the Zero to Hero Bar Muscle Up programme. Now in this video today what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive through some of the changes and whatnot that we've made within this programme, some of the things that I'm going to need you to look out for, and some of the common faults as well that I've seen within the kind of first 2 weeks with some of the videos that you guys have been sending in. Thanks for that. Now I'm just going to connect into this. Now session 1 and session 2 are much the same, and it's going to be the same theme as last time. One of the things that was very common in this is that a lot of people either fall into 2 different camps. They either fall into the camp of they are really strong, they can do plenty pull-ups, plenty dips, but they're all over the place with the drills, or they are quite clued up with the drills, or they're managing to do the positions quite well, but they're not able to kind of transform that into any strength relating onto the bar. Now, if you fall into those 2 camps, you either have a lack of skill or a lack of strength. And finding out what that weakness is the thing that you want to double up on, triple up on, and kind of really work hard at doing. Now, some of the things take longer to accrue than others, like things like strength. Some of those things like strength will be a forever ongoing task that people will be looking to try and unlock and get stronger and stronger all the time. And arguably with skills as well, but it's going to be more so strength is going to be the thing that is going to take a long time. If you have to cycle through this programme twice, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Now, to get stuck right into the programme, we are going to bring you a couple of new things. We're going to bring you some new drills. We're going to give you some improvements within the strength sessions. And we're also going to talk about some injury prevention tactics. Right, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to talk about them at the end of the video. Anyway, so coming into the warm-up, you're going to start off just a little bit of a change up in some of the warm-up progressions. You're going to do 12 kip swings, a 30-second hollow hold, and 25 banded pullovers. These are all movements that I think we did in week 1 and 2 anyway, but just in a slightly different order. The thing is, with things like the warm-up, it's actually so insanely crucial that you maintain the same positions and you maintain good positions that you're actually looking to do in the workout as well. You don't just skip through it. Skipping through warm-ups won't benefit you whatsoever. In actual fact, it's probably hurting you, and it's maybe why you're in this position in the first place, because you just try and jump straight up to the bar and you're not actually doing anything. You're just swinging, hopefully, or hopelessly rather. So moving correctly and using really good technique during your warm-ups is essential. In your kip swings, you want to make sure that your feet are tight, your arms are straight, and everything is just locked in. And you're pulling with the arms and shoulders, not the legs. Pullovers, again, this is to kind of fire up the lats, fire up those smaller wee muscles in the upper back, your rear delts and things like that. Get them activated, get them going, get the rotator cuffs warm. That we're, again, talking about injury prevention, which we'll do at the end of the video, making sure that that's all locked in. And then we jump into the main session. Now, you might be thinking, but Jordan, this looks an awful lot like week 1 and 2. Well, it will do. It will do. And the reason why it will is because it is very similar, but it's essentially these progressions are designed so that they can build off one another. We're going to do basically the same first 4 exercises are going to be the exact same, except the volume is going to be reduced because we're going to put more volume onto the jumping bar muscle ups. You'll do the same jump to hollow to arch to hollow. You'll do the same jump to hollow to arch to hollow to knees. Then you'll do the same jump to arch to hollow to knees to hips, right? Now again, if you're not 100% sure on what that's looking like, refer back to week 1 and week 2 video. I only said it was week 1, but it's actually week 1 and 2. Refer back to that. Again, I've got some videos playing here that's kind of showing you like what those drills kind of look like, and what the jump to hollow to arch looks like, what the jump to hollow to arch to hollow to knees look like, and it's basically these things that we're looking to try and progress. Now you're going to spend the bulk of your time in the jumping bar muscle up with the negative and the single leg jumping bar muscle up. Now those 2 movements have the exact same scale up or scale down progressions, where you can just simply raise the height of the box to get yourself closer to the bar. That's going to benefit you in being able to transition. But again, that kind of general rule of thumb that I've got, where you ideally want to be anywhere between your eyes and chin, you want to be at that level to actually make it difficult enough that you're doing something, but not too challenging that you're ever going to fail. One thing you'll notice, or one thing that I want you to notice when you're doing your jumping bar muscle up, is actually being really, really fast on the turnover. What drills A, B and C have been doing for us is essentially trying to get our hips as close to the bar as possible. That's the first part of the equation, is how close can we get our hips to that bar. The second part of the equation is how fast can we then transition over the top of the bar. Some people can be really, really good at getting their hips to the bar, but they just feel that they're too far away and they're just unable to get that quick transition over. That's what these two drills here are going to teach us to do, is simply firing over. When you get into that single leg one, I want you to practice off both legs. So if you do 2 sets on your right leg, do 2 sets on your left, and you'll often find that doing it off your left side, or depending on what foot you are, if you're left-footed or right-footed, is going to be a lot more difficult than the other. And ideally I'd want you to be able to match it on both sides, because ultimately it's not about how much power you can generate through one leg, it's how fast you can transition over the bar and how high you can pull yourself through your arms and through your lats. With the single leg jumping bar muscle up and exercise D and exercise E, the jumping bar muscle up and the single leg jumping bar muscle up, you essentially just want to transition over that bar as fast as possible, and that's what that's teaching you. Coming into session 2, again, is the exact replica of session 1. However, if you feel like the skills and stuff like that are easy for you, you don't need to do this a second time. You can quite simply just maybe double up on the strength session, or just do 2 sessions. That's absolutely fine. Coming into session 3, again, the strength session. These strength sessions are arguably more important than the technique skill sessions, depending on which camp you lie. If you do not have enough chin-ups, if you do not have enough strength through your lats, through your biceps, through your triceps to lock out on a dip, you shouldn't be expecting to get a muscle up in. That's what these sessions are designed to help you get and build upon, if you can already do this. Again, simple warm-up, 2-minute ski into some banded lat pullovers and some plate or dumbbell Y-raise with a nice light plate. Again, firing up those muscles on the posterior chain. Some arseholes, PTs like to say. It's just on the backside of you. Who gives a fucking monkeys? Main session, I've changed up some of the exercises, and it's more so just to kind of keep you engaged and keep you fresh, because you're doing a lot of repetitive stuff with the drills. I kind of want to keep the strength sessions chopping and changing and keep you a little bit more engaged in the program, because there's nothing more boring than doing the same thing week in, week out. Even though it's necessary, there is things that we can change. Ultimately, we're working the same muscle groups, we're applying similar sorts of stimulus to them, but we're just going to mix it up a wee bit. We'll do 6 to 8 strict chin-ups, overhand chin-ups, which is technically a pull-up. I don't know why I wrote that. Anyway, there's 4 sets between 6 and 8, and this time we're going to leave 2 reps in reserve. The last 2 weeks was kind of leaving about 3 reps in reserve. Even though we're changing the movements, we're also kind of trying to look to upgrade the intensity a wee bit as well, and you're going to superset that with some high incline dumbbell shoulder press. So if you take the dumbbell, or if you take the bench, put it up at the highest point where it's vertical, and then go back either 1 or 2 notches. So it's kind of like a very, very high incline press, but very much a shoulder press. We're targeting the shoulders in this movement. Again, same sets, 6 to 8 reps, 2 reps in reserve. Ideally, if you can stick to the same weight for all 4 sets, and then each week try to either increase weight or increase the number of reps that you're doing. I quite like that. And then moving into part B, again 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 10 chest supported rows, again 2 reps left in reserve, and then 8 to 10 ring dips. These are going to be quite challenging. A lot of you may struggle with this. You can always do this with a band, where you'll have a band underneath the ring and then attach it to the other side. You can do these banded to try and use a nice light band, but again, this is going to be something that ideally I would like you to be able to get to if you can handle 2 sets of 8 reps of ring dips with a couple of minutes rest in between after doing some pull-ups and after doing some shoulder press. That's going to make me a very happy man. That's going to put you in a really good position strength wise to be able to do a lot of these skills. And then we're going to finish with 2 to 4 sets of 12 to 15 lying dumbbell pullovers into 12 to 15 lying dumbbell skull crushers. So kind of similar-ish type movements, but pushing these ones to failure. Just they're kind of lighter. You'll use lighter weights on these typically, and again, it's just really strengthening stuff up. Those are the kind of main sessions, and again, you can by all means double up on this one. Do the same session as the last 2 weeks. all these sorts of things. It's about picking and choosing what you're strong at and what you're weak at. And obviously I'm going to be here to somewhat facilitate you and help you within that and finding out what those things are. That's the whole idea of this free programme, as I am somewhat at your disposal. However, if you're watching this, hopefully in 3 years, I'll be far too busy to do any of this. I'll be on a yacht somewhere. Who knows? I've lost my train of thought there. I'm thinking about being on a yacht now. But yeah, so some of the things that I want us to kind of be mindful of is how these warm-ups and these accessory movements can actually help aid in injury prevention. Now, I can't guarantee that no one's going to get injured ever again in their lives. However, what I've found personally is that the amount of effort and intensity, and I say that in inverted quotes, that I put into my warm-ups helps me tenfold in regards to injury prevention. Even just through 1 week of being diligent through doing things that help my knees, my knee pain goes away. Being diligent for 1 week on banded lat pullovers, Y raises, kip swings, my upper back, my traps and my shoulders aren't sore, or as sore. Same with the bicep curls and tricep extensions, my elbow pain goes away. So a lot of people just want to look to and skip to the main session. However, what I found that one of the biggest things and best things that I can do for injury prevention is warm-ups. Warm up properly. You might be thinking, oh fuck, injury prevention tactics, fucking what's this big secret, and I've just told you to warm up. I have. Because even though you may warm up, you can probably warm up a wee bit better. So that's all for today's video. Subscribe, comment, whatever. I've got Deck Kelly coming in now for a session. He's the strongest man in his house. And I'll give you a wee zoom in on the boy. There he is, Shagger. Doesn't know that he's going to go through a world of pain. Anyway, peace.